right, EXPs, take two. I am back with you guys live. Amidst all the technical difficulties, I am here and I'm ready to present you guys with this great information that I've put together. Got this instrumental playing, so let's go. Round two, baby. Hey. Make sure you guys drop some love in the comments. Let me know where you're checking in from. How have your events been going thus far? If you guys got any questions for me, make sure you drop those in the comments as well. I plan to answer those tonight. I have a question from the last post, so I'm definitely going to answer that from a young lady as well. And also, if you've been loving the content, loving the resources that we've been posting in the group, show me some love as well, all right? This group is not just my group. It's your group, and it's dedicated to making sure that we provide quality content and quality resources for experiential marketing professionals. So let us keep this theme going. Getting you guys ready. Just checking in with you. Hey, shouts out to everybody from ATL, from the Southeast. My market, my home right now. As you guys can see, I'm home, not on the road today, but I'll be back out there tomorrow, all right? And lastly, you know I can't leave without showing my hometown some love. So shouts out to the 305. Got to rep, got to end on this note. Just the hometown, all right? So, all right. How are you guys doing tonight? How has your, well, we start in the week, right? Today is Monday. So how's your week going? How have your events been going? Are you guys ready for the end of this year? We got less than 3 months left. Can y'all believe? Like 2021 is gone. I don't know about you, but it feels like it just flew by. I still remember 2020, and now we already getting ready for 2022. We got less than 3 months in 2021. So how have you guys been preparing? How has this year been going for you thus far? Have you been accomplishing your goals? Definitely let me know, in the comments how 2021 has been faring for you. All right. So I want to talk about preparing for Q4 or the fourth quarter or the last 4 months as an experiential marketing professional. As well, for those of you who don't know, I do a lot of live videos. I talk honestly and openly about the things, the challenges that you go through in the experiential marketing industry at every position, right? But from time to time, I can get long-winded. So I make notes, before lives, and I try to stick to those notes. And tonight I did something a little different. I created a presentation for you guys to keep me on track, to keep me from talking about, a lot of other subjects that I can go in on for a long time. And to also, cater to my visual learners. We all have different learning styles. So for all of my visually inclined folks, that's me right here. I have put together a presentation that we are definitely going to use tonight and that you'll be able to go back and reference. The video will be, of course, live here on my channel, but I'm also going to post it on my YouTube page and my YouTube channel as well. So definitely I'm going to drop that link as well. Later on, once I start reading the comments, go subscribe to my channel. There are a lot of resources, a lot of guides, a lot of free downloads on ways to advance in experiential marketing, how to, make sure you ace that interview, whether you're applying for a tour manager, brand ambassador opportunity, how to make sure that you're financially setting yourself up for success. I talk about it all. So definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel, J Davis Experience, and you'll find all the resources there. So without further ado, let me go ahead and get into this presentation really quick. And I'm going to go ahead and check on my phone as well, on the YouTube channel, just to make sure everything is good. We doing well. And the video is actually live. And you guys are watching me. All right. So yeah, so we're good. Everything's good on my end. So let me go ahead and dive into this presentation. All right. Share my screen really quick. And also, if you guys have any questions for me, make sure you drop those in the comments as well. I'll be answering them on this live presentation. All right. All right. So let me go ahead and pull this up. And let me start from the beginning. Where is it? Oh, here it is, right here, present. All right. Let me actually go back. And let's start from the beginning with present. All right, I got it right. All right. So tonight we're going to be talking about how to prepare for Q4 as an experiential marketing professional. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jay Davis. I've been working in the experiential marketing industry now for over 12 years. I've served in every position, started as a brand ambassador, and worked as a brand ambassador for over 2 years. Worked as a team lead, product specialist, in market, regional tour manager, obtained my CDL, met my husband in the industry. Yes, we were both working as brand ambassadors, and we both obtained our CDL license and decided to pursue the industry and pursue the opportunities which would yield us the highest return from a financial standpoint. So we began to execute CDLA tours together. However, we didn't start that way. We were both executing separate tours, because at the time, a lot of agencies did not like to hire couples who were not married. They were more advocating for married tour teams because it showed more stability. So we had to really grind, guys. We had to work our way up. We had to execute separate tours. And then one agency actually took a chance on us and gave us the opportunity to actually execute a tour as a couple, and we ran with it. After obtaining our CDLs, it really opened up doors for us in the tour sector and allowed us to move into the management side of executing tours within the industry. We've had the opportunity to work closely with client liaisons to help with the build out, conception, and the creation of experiential marketing programs. We've also been able to hire our own staff. We've traveled nationwide. We've been through it all, good, bad, the ugly. But we've had some awesome experiences, and we've had the opportunity to work with some awesome brands on some cool programs and be a part of just some memorable launches. That's what experiential marketing is about. It's not only creating that great consumer experience, but for us, we started looking at ways in which we could leverage our experience and put ourselves in a position to ensure that we're creating multiple streams of income. I am the author of You Do What? The Ultimate Experiential Marketing Guide. I found that, when I was beginning my career in the industry, there was no resource, there was no guide, there was no way to teach you, how to begin a career in experiential marketing. I found out, well, first off, let me backtrack. I obtained my first brand ambassador opportunity through a Craigslist ad. And then at that event, I met a young lady who was working the event who gave me a 6-page list of experiential marketing agencies to sign up for. And I just took that list and I ran with it. I spent countless hours, countless days, countless weeks creating profiles and really started to educate myself on industry. So there was no resource back then. There was no channel. There was no YouTube channel like mine. There were Facebook groups, but they were not really educating you on ways in which you can advance. So that is where the birth of my book, You Do What, came from. I wanted to create a guide. I wanted to create something that would help the next individual entering the industry learn how to advance the right way, because there is a right way to move in this industry, and assist you in maintaining opportunities on a consistent basis and being able to, whether you practice smart money tips, whether you're looking to move into the account manager side, give you the resources for that, but also provide the account managers and the agencies, and more importantly, the clients, the ones that are providing the opportunities for experiential marketing agencies and ultimately us as EXPs, experiential marketing professionals, to execute events. I wanted to provide a resource for them that they could reference to get a total understanding of the experiential marketing industry as a whole. Oftentimes, Fortune 500 brands just look at, okay, this is how much it's going to cost to execute this tour program, but they don't really factor in the individuals at the ground level, which I feel like are the most important. The brand ambassadors and the individuals in the field actually engaging with consumers. So this book, You Do What, is that resource guide. I'm working on other things that I have down the pipeline, which I'm not going to announce just yet. But I have a lot of things in the woodworks and coming soon. All right. I'm also the co-founder of Team 100 Consulting and Team 100 Logistics. Team 100 Consulting is our experiential marketing consulting agency. And then Team 100 Logistics is actually a company me and my husband birthed after the pandemic. Once our industry shut down in 2020 because there were no consumer events going on, me and my husband decided to pivot into the trucking industry and obtain our first truck and move into working as truck drivers and ultimately logistics, a logistics company, and having our own company which assists with moving freight. All right. I'm also a big advocate for making sure that you are a dynamic individual, that you diversify. When I say diversify, I mean that you create multiple streams of income and you learn the importance of pivoting. If we didn't learn anything from 2021, you got to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position personally and more importantly, financially, so that you're able to sustain any event that we have, another pandemic or, an issue, with the country again. All right. So here are some ways to excel as an experiential marketing professional, as an EXP at any position. You got to set goals. You got to know why you are working in this industry, but more importantly, what is your end all be all goal? Whether you are just entering this industry as a brand ambassador or whether you are moving up in the industry and you're looking to become a tour manager or obtain in-market or account manager positions. Set goals and know your why. I just talked about this big one here in purple. You got to diversify. If you love working at the brand ambassador position, great. I'm not going to knock it. But I have always been the type of person, and I always advocate for learning different positions within the industry. It'll make you an asset. It'll allow you to sharpen different skills, and it'll also allow you to learn different skills and obtain different opportunities and network with other individuals within the industry who could help you move into better paying positions. All right. Use your certifications, your degree, or your trade. Whether you have a college degree or not, whether you took the time during the pandemic to leverage LinkedIn and obtain a lot of those certifications, make sure you are leveraging any and all certifications, degrees, or trades to your advantage. Now, I'm going to just put this disclaimer out here. You don't need a degree. You don't need any certifications or to work in the experiential marketing industry. You definitely need skills. You need to be able to adjust it on the fly. You need to be able to time manage. You need to be organized. You need to be able to work with various personalities. You need to be able to communicate effectively. Those are some of the things that just come to mind when I think of the skills you need as an experiential marketing professional. So don't get discouraged if you don't have any certification or degrees. Oftentimes I found that a lot of EXPs who have master's and bachelor's degrees, they may put just the bachelor's degree on their resume, but they may omit any other certifications that are not relevant to the job in which they're applying for. So it's definitely a personal preference, but I always, talk about the importance of leveraging any skills or trades or even degrees, especially if you're looking to move more to corporate to account management side, making sure that you're leveraging those to your advantage. And also save and plan ahead. You got to practice smart money tips. You got to make sure that you are staying 2 steps ahead of your current situation and putting yourself in the best position to succeed. So how do you prepare for the last quarter of the experiential marketing industry? Now, for those of you who may be new to the industry or may not know, how the experiential marketing industry works, in the past, this time of year is usually the height of the year, this in the summer. This is when a lot of holiday programs are launched by Fortune 500 brands. This is when clients are looking to go ahead and spend the rest of their money that they have allocated for experiential marketing or event marketing purposes. So you see an influx of holiday programs, holiday tours, especially events being executed at retail locations and retail stops. You're going to see an increase of those types of events being executed. Now, 2020 presented different challenges for us, right, with the pandemic. So we didn't see any of that. But we are starting to see a wave and an influx of more events occur. And it seems like the industry is on an uptrend. So it's going to be interesting to see how this last half of the year shapes out for us in the industry. But this is the opportunity for experiential marketing professionals, for our EXPs, to maximize your earnings. You got, well, I was going to say 4 months, but we really only got 3.5 months left in 2021 or at the end of this year. So this is the time where you buckle down, you hustle, right? And you put yourself in a position to finish out this year strong. All right. So I broke it down into my 3 R's to keep it simple: review, reconnect, and reposition. All right. And I'm going to go into each one of these in greater detail, starting with the first one: review. So you got to definitely reflect on what you have accomplished thus far. So whether that is in the experiential marketing industry or personally, did you move from brand ambassador opportunities, and did you acquire the confidence and the skills to apply for those tour manager or in-market programs? Remember, especially if you're an individual who's looking to advance in the industry, you got to continue to apply. You got to continue to network. But take the time to just woo-saw real quick. You made it through, what's this? October, November, December, 9 months of the year. So just go back and reflect on what you have been able to accomplish thus far. Did you set goals at the beginning of the year, and how have you been able to accomplish those things? Have you been able to move into better paying opportunities within the experiential marketing industry? Have you been able to sit down and really work on your resume and update all of your social media profiles? Those are some things that you definitely can look at and just review and see how far you've come. It's always important just to take time to not only reflect, but reevaluate, where you are, whether that be in the experiential marketing industry, starting your own business, or just from a personal standpoint. It's also important to review the ways in which the industry has changed. We've seen, with experiential marketing events, the importance of making sure that you keep yourself safe from a consumer perspective, making sure that you are wearing masks, that you're doing the things to protect yourself, and you're taking those necessary precautions. Also reviewing how the industry has changed and whether or not you foresee yourself still working in this industry long term. That's extremely important. Also, evaluate ways in which you can improve. It's important to take inventory of where you are now, personally as well as in the industry. What things have you done well? What things can you improve on? I have a rating system. I look at 5 areas of my life: personally, career-wise, my hobbies, financially, and just health and wellness. And I do a rating from 1 to 10, with 10 being the best. And I have, honest conversations with T. And then I also, sit down and journal and reevaluate where I am. It's important, that you take some time to look at that and find ways in which you can continuously to improve and evolve as a person. As I stated before, review your resume, your headshots, and your social media accounts. Are they up to date? Do they provide relevant information? Because agencies and account managers do look at, that information and do review your your social media profile. So keeping those relevant is important. And asking yourself, do you want to advance in the industry, or are you just looking to stay at the position that you are most comfortable, whether that be working as a brand ambassador or even, working as a in-market or regional manager? You may have children, you may have another business. This just may be your side hustle. So looking at where you are, right? Reevaluating and reviewing, and determining where do you want to advance, or even if you want to advance in the industry, is important. And if you decide that, hey, you know what, Jay, like, I'm ready for the next level. I'm tired of working BA jobs. I have the skills. I've obtained the experience. I'm ready to move into those new opportunities. What are some tactics? What are some things that you can implement? You definitely have to keep that in mind. And make sure that you're putting yourself in a position to succeed. All right. Let me just review social media as well to make sure everything is going well. Okay, good. All right, cool. Next are reconnect. So I'm going to say this and I'm going to say it 3 times. Networking is key in the experiential marketing industry. Networking is key in the experiential marketing industry. Networking will help your net worth grow and help you grow in the experiential marketing industry. So it's important that you reconnect. If you kind of took a pause from the industry since, everything has happened, but you're feeling like, okay, Jay, I want to get back into the industry. I want to make sure that I'm able to establish old relationships and obtain consistent opportunities like I, did prior to the pandemic. It's important that you reconnect. It's important that you, touch base with any account managers or staff coordinators that you've worked with. Like I said before, you got to go on and update your social media profiles to relevant information. I'm telling you guys, LinkedIn is a gem. LinkedIn will assist you with networking and connecting with account managers, agency owners within the experiential marketing industry. If you have not been leveraging LinkedIn, now it's the time to really buckle down, hone in, create that LinkedIn profile, and start connecting with the account managers, with the agency owners, with the agencies that you are looking to obtain opportunities with. All right. Use LinkedIn to your advantage. I'm telling you, it works wonders. And make sure when you set up your LinkedIn profile that you are also asking for recommendations from other industry professionals or even account managers that are on LinkedIn that can provide you a recommendation. I have seen a huge increase with the number of profile looks and even agency owners reaching out to me regarding opportunities by just leveraging that one key component. So definitely take some time, use that recommendations tab, reach out to the account managers on there, ask for a recommendation, and even fellow EXPs in the industry, you can ask for a recommendation as well. But what I've done is, provide a recommendation for them as long as they provide me a recommendation. So that's one way, one trade-off that you can do for obtaining those recommendations, but definitely leverage LinkedIn. Facebook is also great, and Instagram has been key. A lot of experiential marketing and staff agencies have been leveraging Instagram to post job opportunities, to post, their events in the field. And it's also a great way from a visual perspective to learn a little bit more about the agencies and the type of opportunities and events they staff. All right. Leverage your skills as assets. I cannot stress that enough. If you have skills, if you have been able to connect with the right agencies and the account managers thus far, I applaud you. But you got to leverage your skills. Don't be scared to put the skills and the assets that you have on your resume. You got to be able to not only speak on it, but leverage all the experience, all the programs, all the events, especially which you have served as a team lead or management role. You got to be able to put that on a resume and also sell it whenever you're getting the chance to speak to account managers or staff coordinators. But leverage your skills. You got this. Be confident in your abilities. All right. Also, we got to remember with the pandemic and the things that have happened, a lot of agencies have either closed their doors permanently. So with that being said, account managers and staffing coordinators may have transitioned out of their job or to other agencies. So you got to make sure that you reconnect to one, make sure that the agency is still in business, that they're still executing events, and reconnect with that account manager or staffing coordinator to see if they're still at that agency, or if not, where have they moved on? Again, you can use LinkedIn for that. All right. Also, you got to reconnect to confirm agency guidelines post-pandemic. So things like 1099 versus W-2. A lot of agencies may have rebranded themselves under a different name and changed their compensation practices and ways in which they pay out EXPs for an event. So it's important to reconnect and find out this information, but also find out if you are required to be vaccinated in order to execute any of their events that they have. So that's always key. And You got to put the work in. All right. Take the time, whether you do it daily, whether you do it weekly, whether you do it every month, to reconnect or connect with a few new agencies. All right. You got to start by putting yourself out there, by leveraging social media platforms, and by connecting with these agencies. All right. All right. And my last R, repositioning. So you might be saying, okay, Jay, like, I'm not sure if I want to stay in the industry. I'm still trying to figure some things out. It's good right now because I have opportunities coming in. So I'm going to make this money. But where do I foresee myself? And how can I reposition myself if I decide to, continue to execute events in the industry? First thing you got to do is have an honest conversation with yourself. I can't determine that. Your family, your friends, other EXPs can't determine what's best for you. You have to know what's best for you. So you got to have an honest conversation. You got to figure out what goals, what plans, whether that be career-wise, financially, that you are looking to pursue, and put a plan in place. All right. Also, if you decide, okay, I want to reposition myself, Jay, but I'm tired of doing brand ambassador jobs. I'm tired of I'm tired of applying for opportunities and not, being able to move into management opportunities. I feel like I had the skills. I feel like my resume speaks. I feel like, I'm qualified, but I'm just not being afforded the opportunities. Don't stop applying. And don't be afraid to apply. Remember, it's all about how you reposition and see yourself in the industry. But more importantly, if you don't apply for the opportunity, then you're not really putting yourself in the best position to obtain it. So let all that fear go. All right. And apply for the opportunity. You never know, if it will result in you being afforded a chance to execute that event or that tour. But if you don't even apply, then you're not giving yourself a chance. All right. Again, if you truly qualified, apply. I'm not talking to the EXPs who be out here flexing on the gram and fronting just because they did one BA job or they worked one team lead job that they ready for tour, that they ready to be a full-time tour manager. I'm not talking to y'all, all right? Because I'm here to tell you, moving from team lead and marketing manager to tour manager is a completely different ball game. And from all my EXPs who work on tour manager side, make sure you drop some thoughts in the comments and let these EXPs know. But definitely only apply and move up if you are truly qualified. All right. Because I'm here to tell you, if you're not truly qualified, you will be exposed. All right. You will be exposed. So make sure you truly qualify and you putting yourself in the best position, which brings me to my next point. Position yourself personally and financially for success. All right. It starts with you. So positioning yourself with your goals, with the things that you're working towards accomplishing is important. Positioning yourself financially, looking at where you were 6 months, 1 year ago, and have you been able to make strides to improve your financial situation, or continue to successfully move up and create multiple streams of income or a different business financially, right? Position yourself so that you're able to leverage those things and successfully move into your goals and your desires. All right. When we also look at positioning yourself, you got to also look at 1099 versus W-2 opportunities, looking at which opportunities now make sense if you're working as an EXP, especially if an agency has changed their compensation practices and have now moved to a W-2 employee versus you coming on as a contractor. So looking at the scope of that and how that may change the opportunities in which you apply for is important. But more importantly, making sure that you, whether you are working majority of 1099 or W-2, or you're working both, repositioning how you set up your finances is important. Bring me to my next point, finances and expenses. How are you making sure you keep track of that? And more importantly, how are you ensuring that you are planning and preparing for tax time? All right. Because at the end of the day, pandemic or not, we still have taxes. Uncle Sam's still going to be there. He ain't going nowhere. All right. You also got to reevaluate your circle. Part of repositioning is reevaluating the people around you. taking inventory and make sure that these people have your best interests, making sure that they are not negative Nancy's, that they have energy that matches the energy that you provide, and they are not just reciprocating and receivers, but they are also, giving what you are giving as well. It's a two-way street, especially with friends and family. All right. And reevaluating your short-term and long-term goals. So part of positioning yourself is looking at, okay, short-term, my 6-month goals, my 3-month goals. Have I been able to accomplish them? And looking at your long-term goals. Hey, the end of the year is already here for the most part. So you should be able to go back and look at some goals that you set for the early part of this year and see if you've been able to accomplish those. And if not, how can you reposition yourself? All right. So some things to keep in mind as an EXP. Definitely read your contracts thoroughly. And if you're not sure on what your contract may say or how to read your contract, there's nothing wrong with that. But make sure you enlist legal consulting if needed before you sign anything. All right. Whether you are working as an in-market manager, as a BA, as a tour manager, CDLA driver, cover your butt and put everything in writing. All right. When you're applying for opportunities, because I'm starting to see more opportunities pop up in the group, I'm starting to see more opportunities, especially in the management positions. When you are applying for opportunities, right, and you're speaking to account managers and account coordinators, make sure you have some questions ready. And if you guys don't know what questions to ask during the interview, go to my YouTube channel. I have a video on there on how to prepare for an interview as an EXP at any position. And I provide you with some questions there that you can ask. Just like the account manager or the staffing coordinator is interviewing you for the opportunity, this is your chance to interview them as well. So you need to have some questions ready. All right. And if you see any red flags, pay attention, because there have been times where I didn't pay attention and I paid later on tour, pay with my time and my energy and my effort. But if you see red flags early, right, trust your gut and adjust accordingly. All right. Don't sell yourself short. I talk about this all the time, knowing your worth. If you are truly qualified for a position and you know the amount of quality that you will bring to a program, don't be afraid to ask for compensation. All right. Don't stop applying after a no. If you work in this industry, you already know you deal with rejection from consumers. So why would you let one no for opportunity stop you? Keep applying, all right? And I talk about my 3 Ps in my book, but you always got to remember this. Stay personable, always having an outgoing, engaging personality. Always stay professional, whether you are working as a brand ambassador, team lead, product specialist. You got to maintain a high level of professionalism at all times, and you got to be presentable. You are there to represent that client. You are there to represent that brand. But more importantly, you are there to represent yourself, when you're executing events. So you got to stay presentable. You got to stay personable. You got to be on time. And you got to be ready to go out and execute that event and have fun. All right. This industry is not a button-up industry. You can smile, you can engage with consumers, you can have fun. So you got to come on the footprint with a great attitude. And you got to be willing and able to just be personable. But more importantly, outside of all of that, you got to be professional, right? Because you are a brand within a brand. I talk about it all the time. You are a brand within yourself, but you are also an extension of that client, and they have expectations in which you must abide by. All right. So with working in the experiential marketing industry, you have to understand that our industry is not going anywhere. So I know we had the pandemic. I know we didn't have any events, but don't get discouraged. More opportunities will continue to arise. So you got to continue to network. You got to continue to apply. You got to continue to reach out to other EXPs who may have established relationships with account managers and staffing coordinators. Leverage all of your network. All right. That's how you're going to build your net worth, is leveraging your network. All right. No opportunity is guaranteed, right? I've had tours canceled at a couple day notice on me. So that is just the nature of the industry that we work in. We are freelancers, we are contractors. So you have to understand the nature of this industry. But make sure that you continue to apply, and seek. If your goal is to move up in the industry, make sure that you are going after those opportunities and that you are obtain the necessary skills and experience to be able to do so. And also, whether health issues may all, as we've seen, affect our abilities to maintain consistent opportunities. So you got to make sure that you are able to sustain. This group and myself, I always preach the importance of having a plan B, C, D, E, F, G, H. All right. And this group is not just one for experiential marketing, but we talk about financial planning. We talk about branding, because I want you guys to be well versed. I don't want you guys to be thinking one dimensional, excuse me. I want you to be dynamic in your approach and how you move in the experiential marketing industry, and always looking to have plan B, C, D, E, F, but also looking to create multiple streams of income, because this industry is not guaranteed. So you always got to be setting yourself up financially. All right. And also mentally and physically, take care of yourself. All right. This industry is not your end all be all. Please make sure that you are taking care of your mental health and your wellness, that you are taking time to ensure that you stay in check, that you are taking the time to get your necessary checkups. All right. Because whether you miss one event or not, you got to make sure you keep your health top priority. No tour, no account manager, no client is worth you compromising your health for any event. All right. So make sure you keep that top priority. And more importantly, physically, just making sure that you are in the best possible shape or the best possible attitude to be able to successfully execute any event. All right. All that goes into it. You may not think about it, but all of that goes into the success of you, moving up in the experiential marketing industry. So here's one of my events in Huntington Beach with my good friend, Melissa. And I'm going to go ahead and take some questions. And thank you guys for tuning in, and keep applying. The right opportunity is going to come, so don't give up. All right. And here are my social medias as well. So let me go ahead and jump on here, stop sharing my screen really quick, and go ahead and take some questions for you guys as well. Go ahead and remove that. All right. Hey. All right, I'm back. All right, so we got some questions here from our Facebook user. Thank you for tuning in. She asked, what are some things you are doing now or maybe should have been doing throughout the year to prepare for tax season as a mixed income earner? All right, great question. W-2 and 1099. And let me get the name, because I like to address individuals. Pamola. Please don't kill me if I didn't get it right. Thank you for your question. All right. So this one can be a little lengthy, but I'm going to try to keep it short. All right. So some things you could do to prepare, or some things that you have been doing, should have been doing throughout the year to prepare yourself for tax season as an income earner. So first things first, have you been keeping up with the amount of 1099 and W-2 opportunities that you have been working as an EXP? Oh, she's corrected me. Paloma. All right, thank you. So you got to keep inventory, right? Whether that be using a Google Drive Excel spreadsheet, or whether you just writing down in a notebook, right? It's important that you keep up with the agencies that you have been working with thus far, and whether or not they paid you as a contractor, 1099, or as a W-2. And the reason being is because once we're done with the end of this year, hopefully by like January 15th, January 30th, the experiential marketing and staff agencies should be finishing up all of their books financially from 2021 with all of their earnings, and they're going to start sending you 1099s and W-2s. So once you start receiving these 1099s and W-2s, it's going to be important that you have some type of list so that you're able to check off and make sure that you received all your 1099s and W-2s from every agency in which you have worked with. So keeping track of that is important. And it's important because once you go to your accountant, 9 times out of 10, I have found that a lot of accountants or CPAs or tax preparers don't really understand the experiential marketing industry, right? You come in, you got a mix of 1099s and W-2s, and they looking like, okay, what do you exactly do? Like, what is your job? So after you spend a little bit of time explaining what you do, they're going to start inputting all of this information in. Or if you do your own taxes, you already know you got to put all of these 1099s and W-2s in. So making sure that you know how much you've made, make sure you've been able to keep a list of what you have been compensated thus far is key. And that's also going to help you, because if you're looking to file your taxes come February and you realize that one agency has not mailed you their 1099 or electronically sent you their 1099 or W-2, you could reach out to the account manager or to HR or to their accounting team to go ahead and request that so you can file your taxes. So the agency is not going to babysit you from a financial standpoint and from a tax standpoint. It's your responsibility to do your due diligence, to put a system in place so that you're able to keep up with all your 1099s and W-2s, and that you're able to account for it at the end of the year. Also, making sure you're keeping up with all of your industry-related expenses, fuel, mileage, any expense that you had to occur working any events. All of that you should have been keeping track of via a app like Expensify, which is what we use for all of our receipts, or using your bank statements, from your banking institution. So keeping up with your finances is important, because once that tax preparer sits down and starts doing your taxes, they're going to be asking for all of these things to help you, offset your taxes, whether you may owe or whether you may be getting some, funds back from the IRS. So you got to have a system. You got to be organized, right? You got to make sure that you are looking at, okay, I made this much as a 1099, this much as a W-2 gross. I've made this much. Am I looking to stay in the green and show it positive so that I can possibly obtain a home or obtain investment properties or help with business funding? Or am I looking to write off as much as I can and get money back? Either way, you got to weigh your pros and cons, especially too, if you're working as a contractor, looking at whether or not you were able to use your LLC and, establish your business is important. All of these things can help you. I know I went a little, over. I hope this answered your question, but definitely setting up an expense report or an expense account where you're able to allocate your expenses every month is key, because that's going to save you time at the end of the year versus having to go back to every statement and tally up your expenses for every fuel, mileage, that you may have had. So setting up a expense system is important, and making sure that you're keeping track of the agencies that you're working with, and whether or not you were a 1099 or W-2. You can always go back at the end of the year and tally up your gross income that you made with that agency, but you got to start by just keeping simple note of who you work for, because that's going to help you if you're missing 1099s or W-2s come January, February, when you're looking to file taxes. All right. So I hope that answered your question. Let me make sure I don't have any other questions that may have come up. Doesn't look like it. But I'm going to come back on later on, at the end of the year, and talk about things you could do to prepare for tax season and bring on a tax professional, which I always do every year as well, that can answer your questions. But you got to make sure that you are taking the necessary steps to put yourself in position for the last 4 months of this year. I hope 2021 has been great to all of you. It's been a crazy whirlwind, right? But we are here, and we are finishing up this year, and I hope that you guys are finishing off 2021 strong. All right. As always, make sure you're connected with me on all my social media outlets. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm going to be deleting this video from the Facebook group and dropping it on my YouTube channel, so you'll be able to go back and watch the replay. And make sure you share this with any other experiential marketing professionals in the industry. All right. Talk to you guys later. If you need any consulting or any help with your resumes, definitely reach out. I do consulting as well. And I have a separate package for that. So I'll be able to assist you. But more importantly, you guys have a great rest of your week. Remember, you are brands within a brand. So represent yourself accordingly. All right. This is Jay signing off, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.